All right. Good evening, everyone. Well, I guess I don't have to say good evening. Good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are and whenever you're watching. Welcome back to the Football Fan Zone podcast, or should I say the Strictly Banter Football Fan Zone podcast. As you can see, we ain't got any of the usuals today except Chooks. Adams is on a hiatus. You know, he's really taking the CEO role to heart. Like he thinks he doesn't have to work for his
Adams,
bread anymore.
Adams is missing. I was calling him, he didn't answer. How
Shut,
to
shut up, shut up, to my guy, man. You know I
what
always
type
All,
of
check
stuff?
out, bro.
all we know is Chelsea dropped points after this blazing hot start, and all of a sudden we don't see our CEO anymore. So sometimes that's just how the rules are the rules. That's all I'm saying. The rules are the rules. So if y'all see a wanted poster out there, what can I say? We also don't have Pius. Y'all know Pius likes to use PTO. The P in PTO stands for Pius time off.
Definitely.
But I'm gonna start with our newest guest, someone that hasn't been on the pod before. We've already had Amizi on before. Y'all already know Chuk. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna initiate Rafi, and the first few things we like to do when we get a new guest on the pod is introduce yourself, obviously, and your socials, and you have to say something nice about your most hated rival, whoever that is to you. Whoever your personal most hated rival is, you have to say something nice about them. And at the end of the show, we're gonna check back in with you and have you say something not as nice. So just keep that in mind. But Rafi, the floor is yours, and then we're gonna get into the agenda.
Hey y'all, it's Rafi. Liverpool fan. Social media, don't really have that much. Instagram Refuge3. Go follow me there. I can't pick one rival. I hate them all, man. It's sick. Well, I'm gonna go United. I feel United. Honestly, I was a big Rooney fan growing up. So yeah, man. Shout out Rooney. That's all I have to say about that. That's it.
These are always so funny because people go back to like 1985.
Yeah.
They're like, there was one time back in the 60s. Yeah, they wore blue. I like that. But yeah, that's all the niceness we're gonna get out of Rafi, anyways. But without any further ado, let's get into the main meal of the weekend. Two teams that are in sort of, I guess, I don't know if I should say similar positions. New coach, lots of talent in the club. Both had pretty exciting starts to the season. In many ways, I'd say for both clubs, they've performed above expectations. We didn't know what Liverpool was going to be. It was kind of a mixed bag, losing Klopp, losing a lot of the behind the scenes staff, and just a new regime. We weren't sure how quickly they were going to get up to speed. They've had a blazing start to the season, currently at the top of the table. Chelsea, after the dismal season they had last year, closed out the season with a little bit of momentum, but we just weren't sure, like, okay, who's Maresca? How much experience does he have? What is a Chelsea team going to look like underneath him? And so far, so good. It's been night and day to how Poch started his era. So um, I'd say both teams went into that game with a lot of quiet optimism, a lot of curiosity. Who are we really? And I'm not sure how many questions got answered, but we're going to get into the thick of it. So I'm going to start with Ama because we've already heard from Rafi, and we're going to go ahead and let the winners speak last. But Ama, I guess I'll say this. What questions did you have going into the game from a Chelsea perspective? And did those questions get answered? Right? So what questions did you have going into the game? Did those questions get answered? And then give us a breakdown of how you thought the game played out.
um. So I guess going into the game, honestly, um, I wanted to see what approach Maresca was going to take, like going into Anfield, specifically with the lineup. Just because we were missing like two players first because of suspension. So I kind of wanted to see how like creative he was gonna get with like filling the gaps in the squad because we're missing a left back and a guy who plays right center back. So He ended up going Gusto left back, no Chilwell, which yeah, and then he started Reece James. Probably more out of necessity, I think, just because there's really nobody else to play in that position right now at all. So it's just a matter of giving him the 45 to start the game, as opposed to maybe in the perfect scenario bringing him on in the second half. But going into the game, when I saw the lineup, I wasn't too upset about the lineup. Bobby was starting. Kind of expected that because just fresh off of the national break, Enzo usually doesn't start the first game after that anyway. So not too shocking from the lineup. But what I really wanted to see was were the boys going to be up for a big game, And I think from what I saw, I'm not upset from what I saw from the game. The only change I honestly would have made to the lineup, I probably would have started with Kunku instead of Sancho just for this game. Just because I think against a team like Liverpool, you need a little bit more like firepower and like goal threats or rather so than like creativity, if that makes sense. Just because when you play Liverpool, just because of the way they play and like the flow of the game usually goes, like you'll get chances to score. So I think if you have guys that are better finishers than like creators, that probably helps out. Um, but yeah, I think the standout performance for the team probably I would say Caicedo. He had a pretty good game. Jackson finished his chance. That was good for him. Very very good for him. Cole was very quiet. But honestly, like they were pretty much like Liverpool's game plan was to just shut off that entire right side. So they always had an extra body whenever either Cole or Nani had the ball. The few times that Nani had like 1v1s, he would like take Robertson, beat him down the touchline, get a cutback in or two, happen like once or twice. But for the most part, anytime it was like Nani over there, they always had somebody like, helping Robertson, which is smart, obviously like shut off the hottest part of the attack. So that's for that reason, that's why I would have probably played in Kunku on the left because he would have a little bit more room. And, but yeah, I think on that front, timing of the subs, I would probably say they were a little bit more like delayed. Like you got those guys he was like the subs we made after the second goal. Those are the subs we should have made at the half anyway. So like Reese, in my opinion, shouldn't have started the second half. And Tosin was already on a yellow, so he shouldn't have started the second half. And those are all the guys that got subbed out. And then Lavia too, back from injury, also shouldn't have played start the second half either. So there's I think that kind of like messed up our momentum a little bit. But other than that, it's just a typical Chelsea Liverpool game, man. Things go their way and things don't go our way. But I can't be mad though because we had chances to score. We definitely had chances to make the most of it if we really were on it. But we just weren't on it today or that day. So that's cool.
So do you feel like you learned anything about Enzo Maresca, not Enzo Fernandez,
Yeah,
but
I think he's like one step away from figuring out what he wants like the full strength first team to really be. I think this game was a good test going into Anfield. Our rent was a little bit increased because we were missing Cucurella and Fofana. Um, so I think in that sense, there was like a little bit of like weird optimism just to see what he was going to do anyway.
where 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 are you at with this coach? Do you think he's like, we obviously know like, okay, he's the guy to at least not be absolutely embarrassing like his predecessors, right? But do
Right.
you think he's the guy to like say Chelsea are back, like back competing for the big ones? Do you think he's going to be that guy, or do you think he's more of like steady the ship and somebody else comes in?
I mean, we're 8 games in. I cannot definitively say yes
Okay.
because it's just still kind of early in the season. We're like what, like 25% like through with the season at this point. I think by like December, I'll probably be able to like give a more definitive answer on that. But I will say that the signs are a lot better than they have been, and they probably haven't like been this like the signs haven't been this good in a while. I would say, just because like even with the loss, like you kind of see like how the flow of the game was going. You know, like you can play in the game, you could tell like it was like a completely like the approach that Liverpool initially probably went into the game with that got abandoned after like the 10th minute. So
You know it's a good loss when the admins, like the social admins, aren't scared to post highlights from the game with
yeah,
like aura. Like I saw
yeah,
like a
like
Nicholas
moments.
Jackson like highlight. I was like, oh, okay, it's one of those. It's one of
Yeah,
those. We
yeah,
take that.
yeah. We'll take those, man. Small wins, you know.
I was
Hashtag
like,
small
fair
wins.
enough, fair enough.
Yeah.
So on
So,
the
but
on
I
the
think.
flip, so go ahead, round up.
Oh, but yeah, I was just gonna say, but for the most part, though, I think the biggest bright side of the game was like you just mentioned, the performances from guys like Nico and Caicedo. Um, the downside was like Colo having his big game bozo gene show up again. But you know, young defender. He has like one more year of doing this, you know. So I'll let it slide. It's cool. It's fine. It happens. You know, it happens.
Yeah, yeah. Young defenders made a lot of mistakes this weekend, but we'll get into
Yeah,
that as well.
yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, some young men, some young men. Speaking of the old men, Rafi, on your end, so you've got some of the same questions, I think, because of course you guys were at a standard. The club era kind of ended with a bit of a whimper, with the way that the title race kind of petered out at the end of last season. So I feel like a lot of people went into this season not knowing if were Liverpool the team of the first half of last season, or were they the team from the second half of last season? And where's the talent level at? You didn't add any new faces to the squad, got a new coach and a new system. So I feel like everyone was rightfully kind of trying to figure out like who even, where are you guys? And so far your fixtures hadn't been really like convincing in terms of like a top side besides United if you count them. Um, so Chelsea, I think, have been one of the four best sides, so far this season. So what questions did you have going into that fixture? Did you get those questions answered? And how did you see the game? And do you agree with Amma in terms of his analysis, or where
Yeah,
you at?
yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna touch on points of Chelsea. Like what I saw from them, I was impressed. Like no joke, Chelsea did really well. But for Liverpool, I was going into the season thinking these are men that are in their late 30s, their late 20s, if anything. So they have all the experience, right? The only thing that is changing is that now they're gonna approach games differently. The way they play is gonna change, and the manager's gonna come in and tell them, like the things you're doing work, but here's how we could elevate it so that you're not, tiring yourself out after every game. You're not getting injured, over some games. And going to this game, I was like very confident because I just said it's going to be an experience thing, right? Where you have your Salahs performing because they know this, they know how to perform in these kind of moments. You have your this Van Dykes, they don't pass the ball away or give the ball away or they don't foul unnecessarily. And you have your Trents, and I feel like Trent is an old man now. You can call him an old man because he's 26, but he's been playing for 7 seasons, so I'll give him that too. So you have these people that they know what these games are about. They're in Anfield. They just know, it's just we have to win this. We're not giving this away. So that's what I was looking for. And I'll be very honest. I saw it. I feel like the most part what I was expecting was just nice professional win. Of course, Chelsea have the best thing they've played so far, so it wasn't going to be as easy. But I still saw the signs. There were times where we had the ball, we could have gone for our normal, oh, let's play this quick through ball, quick. This guy's through on goal. I said, no, what's the point? Just bring it back, play around with it. We don't have to always try to get that through ball every single time, which is something that kills us because we'll force the pass and then next thing we're trying to defend again. Like Chelsea, a really good team, so you couldn't afford to do that. There were times where Nani had it like Emma said, 1v1. And I think it was a very fair battle, slightly leaning towards Nani. But I mean, those are things that we kind of limit when you don't give the ball away too often. I feel like as the game grew, honestly, with every game in Liverpool, once it hits the 65th minute, you could turn the TV off, man. The game's done. Like, there's nothing else that's going to happen. You're going to sub on players. It's just going to be a routine, see out the game. And it happens every time where, like, you could legit leave after 65 minutes and you've seen the game. Because I think his whole point is that he doesn't want to make these guys play 90-minute games, except you're Salah and you don't want to come off. But everyone else, that you don't want to be in a, you know, machine for machine game in the 87 minute. Like, let's kind of control the game. And that's one thing where Klopp always say lacked. And there were other things where I was looking at Slot to see how he's going to react to a big game, where it's a team that has the firepower to hurt you. So how does he say, okay, let me be pragmatic as opposed to just we're the better team. Let's go out. Let's go for the kill. So with lots of questions, I saw some questions answered, but again, it's Chelsea. No disrespect, but we're gonna keep seeing with the next fixture that comes up. We'll see how we continue from there.
So we one thing I noticed specifically with something you just said about wanting to see Slot in a big game atmosphere, right? We did see a little bit more emotion than we're used to. I remember with the Darwin Núñez shoulder barge. I don't know if it looked like a 50-50 to me, whatever. I'm not mad if they call that because the game was pretty much sewn up. But of course, that can easily lead to a counterattack and you lose. But we saw some emotion from him. I don't think he hasn't really been too like boisterous on the sidelines. Do you feel like it was like the occasion? Like, was
I
that an
feel
example of like, oh, okay, like you're here, you're in the Prem, welcome.
I legit feel it was more frustration, and that's
Right,
probably one of the hardest emotions to not show.
right.
Everyone shows it in different ways. Like people, like you can see Amma here showing his frustration with his background and his headline. That's how he shows his frustration. But with Arne Slot, I feel like there were just so many calls where I'm like, just let the game go on. I think the ref was too trigger happy. He started off not calling anything, and then he went on to just call every single touch, every single barge, and it kind of stopped the flow of the game. So I feel like yes, I love to see that emotion because I know some Liverpool fans are missing their father figure who was there before, and they want someone that represents them. He got his first yellow card, so we need him to chill out a little bit more. Don't get too involved. I like when he's nonchalant. Just continue to be that person. But I get some games you need to for I think there was a time where they showed the additional time, and he was already disappointed because again, where did they get 7 minutes from? And I think he was now trying to like amp up the crowd as well. Like we've never seen him do that before, so it's definitely a big game thing. I'll say for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's if I remember like when he did the thumbs up and walked straight down the tunnel, that was like a huge think piece. Like, oh, Klopp would never do that. This dude ain't even trying to build a connection. But it's like, yeah, just hold on, man. I remember when Ange first came in, everything was cool, hands in the pocket always. Then he tried to fight somebody like my game set. He was about to punch some guy. I was like, yeah, welcome to the Prem. All that nonchalant gimmick, nobody has survived it. No, there's literally not one single manager in this league
Mhm.
that has ever. Tuchel almost fought like 3 people. But from a neutral perspective, I thought both teams kind of like just to allude to what both of you said. Like I felt like both teams had the same questions going into the game, and it's weird because it's like as much as it was a routine win, it was a weird atmosphere because it didn't feel like 2 big teams playing. It felt like 2 big badges and big uniforms, but the players were unsure of if like they could live up. Like, are Liverpool in a title race? Is Chelsea a top 4 side, or is Chelsea potentially a dark horse for the title? Are Liverpool still at the standard of going for leagues and Champions Leagues? It felt like a weird, almost like identities clashing type of game where like they both knew like whoever comes through this game looking better will probably get the confidence of like being more secure in who they are. And in a weird way, both teams got what they wanted out of it. Chelsea felt like they were the better side because of the way that Liverpool chose to approach the game more pragmatically. I feel like Chelsea fans, like I was saying, I'm seeing comps online of Jackson scoring goals and the admins are like gassing everything. So it's like they got the morale boost without the win, but then Liverpool get credit for the win, saying, okay, you know what, we keep this run going. 1 loss out of our first 7-8 games, and we've played some decent fixtures now. We've played at United, we've played Chelsea at home. Maybe we can start to like have some belief. So it was a weird one where like it wasn't a draw, but still both sides got something out of it. Because I don't think Chelsea fans expected to go win at Anfield. Because even at their like absolute peak, it's like you're not expecting to just go win at Anfield. You're expecting to go have a good game, and they got that. So that was like from a neutral perspective. I'm like, I feel like both questions got answered just in different ways. And of course, you want to get the question answered with 3 points, but it is what it is. I'm going to bring Chooks in. Chooks, what did you make of the game? You've been famously pushing the Chelsea dark horse agenda. You've also said that you don't think Liverpool are necessarily in a title race with you and City, but that you felt like they could comfortably be third. where are you at with those? Like, now that you've seen the game, was that to your expectation? Do you feel like Chelsea are more legit? And then you can segue from that and touch on the Bournemouth game.
Uh, um, I love what I saw from Chelsea.
This guy,
That
this is
that
so
call,
nasty.
that call.
So
But to be honest, all I'll say is there are a few more players away, and Palmer getting better from being something serious. A lot of guys be hating on Jackson. That was if you could talk about like a top 10 Rats performance, like that was a proper Rats performance. Like, it was just everywhere.
he
Looking,
left with something,
yeah, he
man.
left. He left with something. The Chelsea defense, man, is not up to par. I saw Colwill, man. You guys should have given him to Liverpool when they wanted him. It wasn't good.
He's actually been good this season, to be fair.
Nah, but that particular game wasn't too good. But I
That
mean,
wasn't our first choice defense anyway, so
I
that's
mean,
why
yeah,
I
yeah.
came.
The
I was gonna say Tosin is.
stay fit. You need to.
I was
You
saying
need to do
Tosin is
something.
27, eh? Tosin is the older person in that like
Mhm.
center back pairing. So he should not be
Mhm.
looking at Cole and going, yeah, you don't belong here. It's Tosin that does not belong here. Like he should be
Yeah.
the person that's saying, you
But
know what,
but I thought Tosin was brought in to be like a rotational. I didn't think he was brought in to be an out and out. It's like if Tosin is with all due respect, if Tosin is starting week in week out for you, then
Yes.
how serious really are you? You know what I mean? Like, because he was just at Fulham, like fighting for minutes. Like he wasn't there as like the Don Dada. It was like, sometimes maybe you, sometimes maybe
Yeah, but
Tete. You know what I mean? Like,
that's
come
why I
on.
said it's circumstance. If everyone's healthy, there's no suspension. He wasn't going to start this game.
But yeah.
So who's your first choice pairing? Fofana and Colwell?
We'll
Yeah,
soon touch on. We'll soon touch
it's
on
Fofana and
health.
Cole.
A bunch of us are really unhealthy right now. But let me not go to that. What I was gonna say is with the game,
Unhealthy.
I feel like he played exactly how I was supposed to play. No matter how much you don't rate Liverpool, if you don't rate them, everyone knows Anfield is just it's a place that has what is the word? I don't know what the word is, but just a place that mentally you don't expect your team to win. So it's not like you're going to Anfield to go and win the game. And one thing they know how to do very well from playing them the last few times when the games were balanced is they know how to score. So you just have to bang with them. And Nkuku needs to put that chance away that he had at
Yeah,
the end. He
yeah,
has that was a good chance. Chelsea created enough chances to draw the
yeah.
game.
We did.
Liverpool fans are running out of here thinking, oh, like, when my team used to go there and hold four, yeah, there was no chance of anything. So if I'm a Chelsea fan, I would have my head high. Liverpool is doing what they've done all season. Salah, different guy, man. That guy, yeah. Like, nobody has spoken about Salah. He's just different.
But it's like you're so used to it, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Nah, that particular
you
game.
you talked about Nico Jackson top 10 rat performance. He was on with Chief Rat.
Nah,
Yeah,
Salah,
that's because
he mainly adopted the ratness. This guy was molded.
Salah's the OG rat, man.
Salah is a playmaking rat. But nah,
hey, look, man, top 10.
Liverpool has a better X side than Chelsea style, and they just have more X factor players. Again, that's what we said. I think the first podcast during predictions, Slot inherited a very good team, so they, in my opinion, like you have to put them in those conversations because
But what conversations though? Like, are we talking like are they in the title race now?
Yeah,
I mean, they're top of the league.
Yeah, like you have to put those conversations.
Top four is the goal. You see that there? Don't put it.
I mean, yeah, that's fine if you want to lower your own expectation, but that's just general conversation right now that they are playing very well. In my opinion, they have the best player in the league. So
Isn't that Chelsea?
yeah, again, that's you, Shiesty. But yeah, so the only big thing I feel like I took away from that Chelsea game was Tosin can stop a clear going chance opportunity, and VAR doesn't get involved and send him off. Is good to know that you don't get a red card for that. But hey, my team went to Bournemouth. Same thing this whole season.
Incredible segue, by the way.
The refs make it about themselves. and we've lost our first game in 6 months. There's nothing more to say. The only conversation we can have about that Bournemouth game is the referees, because it wasn't performance. It wasn't on us. It wasn't on the manager. It wasn't on anybody. That game doesn't go that way if the referees don't send Saliba off. Someone put out a tweet. They were like, Calafiori and Mika Mirano haven't finished the game with 10 people on the team since they got here. And it's true, like, all the red cards we've gotten this season, I don't think we deserve any of those red cards. And maybe you guys, if you want to play devil's advocate, that's fine. But I sincerely want to ask you, the Tosin and Saliba situation, are they two different things?
Yeah, they were.
Okay, Amma says yes. Rafi, are they two different situations?
I feel like they were the same, but one ref said this game is big, and I'm not just gonna give a card this early. That's really the only
Good.
difference.
That's, I mean, and that's prem. That's the kind of nonsense that they do here.
But to be fair, on like for the Bournemouth game, the ref on the pitch gave a yellow.
Yeah,
So I think he also thought that it was too early to send them off, but VAR got involved, and I haven't known VAR to get involved with a yellow card decision.
It's, man.
They've been doing that for a while.
When it comes to my team, VAR will get involved in the I haven't seen it before too. Like when he got the yellow card, I'm like, okay, good. Let's.
No, I mean, listen, I have no sympathy because
that's fine.
When you go to war with VAR like the way Mikel has done time after time, like you're painting a target on your back, and if those guys mean you,
that's fine.
There's no opposition worse than those guys.
I like it. I like it this way because it's clear for all to see. It's like the City one that they just got right today on Sky. Do you know what they were saying on Ref Watch? That, oh yeah, Bernardo Silva is so clever for pinning the goalie. Same thing happened when we played Leicester. Trossard scored and VAR said Ben White was impeding the goalie couldn't. Ben White was in an offside position. But when it's Man City, they are smart, they are clever. When it's Arsenal, is that dark arts. So yeah, I can't. A lot of our fan base is crying about things that are not real. The real thing here is we've been repped so poorly the entire season. We have 3 red cards in 8 games. That is not normal, and the red cards are not for violent conduct. Like we haven't earned 1 red card this season. If you can tell me one red card we've earned, I will send you money. Like we've not.
I thought the Saliba one was a clear red for me.
You don't. I feel like Saliba, man. You don't do. There are things you don't do, man.
Yeah. What's weird about that is because I feel like Saliba's fast enough to catch it. Like Evan Nielsen.
No, that's fine.
Evan Nielsen.
That's fine, but I don't think that's a clear goal scoring chance.
I think it is. I mean, because
see how far out he is.
No, but I'm saying if he takes a touch. If he takes a touch,
for me, but he didn't. Like he didn't. That's
because he got pulled down, though, right?
But I mean, but the thing is, normally the player takes a touch, like the David Luiz one, right? Like the player takes a touch and is running, and then you have the one-on-one chance because he's not going to shoot the ball from there. That's what personally I like. That's what I don't.
But that's where I'd like to see the defender be clever and not foul.
No, but I'm saying you can,
because of everything you just said. If it's not a clear goal scoring opportunity, then you don't pull him down.
Yeah, but why is he getting sent off in that position? That's just my own thing.
Dragusin got sent off for the same thing. So I've understood that to be a foul, a red card foul. Like if you, it's like the clear path foul in the NBA. Like as long as there's nobody advanced beyond you, it doesn't matter where you are.
You know why everyone I prefer the NBA is if that's a clear path foul for Arsenal, is the same for every other team in the league. Because the Tosin one is the same situation.
But that's one example where they don't. But then you can look at Dragusin and he got sent off.
Of course, Victim FC did it right. We had one with Consa like 3 years ago. The exact same thing. And what even annoys me?
You guys went back to COVID.
Yeah, because it's been happening. All these things have been happening. And what actually annoys me, right? It's always the wordings that like the refs use or like Sky will use. Like when it's against us, they're calling Saliba all kinds of things and this, that. But someone else is clever. Someone is smart. That was tactical.
But can you really complain about? You guys have been called clever all from the end of last season all the way to this season.
I've not heard it. You need to put me on your own timeline, brother.
Arsenal haven't been called
I
clever.
haven't heard it.
All the Ben White things.
All is all kinds of names.
Even the goal you scored against City, like it was the same impeding of a goalkeeper, but they let that stand.
Against City. No, nobody
The
impeded
Gabriel's
Ederson.
header,
No,
he got
no one
sandwiched
impeded
between
him.
Martinelli. Literally, Martinelli came instead of.
No, but
I mean,
my name was near a defender. It wasn't impeding Ederson. This whole season we've not done
wait,
it.
what? You
Yes,
want me to send you
remember
there were two
when the
there were
season
two
ended.
Arsenal players like literally
No, there
standing in front
wasn't.
of him.
Go and check. When the season ended, that was the first thing they said was they were trying to
No,
make it
I'm
seem
talking about
like
the City
a
game
white
this
thing.
season.
No, this
This
season
at the
we
Etihad.
don't do it. We don't impede the goalie anymore.
Oh no, I gotta send you some proof.
You send we don't
I gotta
impede
send
the
you some
goalie
proof.
anymore. But yeah, that red card just fried the whole game.
So you don't think anything else? It was just the ref.
No,
You said it wasn't
obviously,
performance related. It was just the ref.
the thing is, the lineup doesn't have two of our best players. Obviously, we're going to look different, but the red card ultimately just gets you out of that kind of game because you're already struggling trying to play without Odegaard and Saka, and now you're now playing down a man. There's not nothing else. Like you cannot blame anybody. The manager is doing the best with what he has. It's not his fault. Our players are injured, and now we have a suspended player. So yeah, I can't. Anyone that's trying to blame anything but the refs probably doesn't have eyes.
'Cause I didn't think you guys were good before the red card.
Yeah, and we weren't good against Southampton as well in the first half. And then what happened?
Yeah,
Game
but the difference is Saka was in those games. He
yeah,
wasn't gonna be in
exactly.
this
Now I'm
one.
saying so we don't know what the second half looks like if we have 11 men, but not having 11 men, and we still almost scored with Martinelli. But that's the thing is we're playing against 12 guys every single game. Play against 12 guys. And the thing is, there's proof with all the dead red cards we're getting and how the refs are just divas. So now we have to go next week without Saka, Saliba, and Odegaard, and we're going to go play the most informed team in the league.
Nice and fun. Here we go. Question
Yeah,
though.
good
I have
luck.
a question for you.
7 out of 8 wins.
Good
Wait, I have
luck.
a question. No, this
Good
is
luck,
this is not
man.
red player related. You said your two best players are. Who's your third best player? Who would you say is your
Saliba
third best
is
attacking
third.
player?
Attacking player. At this point, I don't know.
Not
As-
your Havertz, no?
I mean, he can't cook without creators now.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah, like he needs someone to create for him. Is he gonna carry the ball and start to dribble?
When
There
they
was
call
no
you
bro,
complete, man,
Raheem,
that's what I
Raheem,
expect.
Sterling. I didn't
Did you
see
see?
one.
Did you like the different side of him?
I didn't see. I didn't see nothing palatable. Man, Uzo, I was whipping. I was like, are all the crossers on strike? I don't see no
You
whipped
know,
crosses in my
what's so funny?
stuff.
You know what's
I
so
don't see no
funny
in
about that game,
swingers.
bro? I turned the game on and I'm like, I can't believe it's 2024, right? And after seeing Sterling and Havertz paired together in Chelsea just 2 years ago, leading to probably our worst attack of all time. These guys decided to run it back 2 years later. It's like that
Man,
was so strange to me,
I
you
don't
know?
get
Like,
this year wishy-washy hates we have it. If you're gonna hate Havertz, I'ma do it with chest.
no, I said
Every time, bro,
combination. I said
the thing with
combination.
Amma,
Those guys together
combination,
were
the
not good.
combination.
They were not good.
Well, I'm saying, but like,
Like,
it wasn't. Sterling wasn't the
because
worst
like,
player out
because
there.
it's for all the things you're just about to say. Sterling doesn't like the qualities he has as a winger. For a guy like Havertz playing striker for y'all, it doesn't work.
But that's
Like,
that's what we
it
have to
doesn't
put out.
work.
That's what we have to
No,
put out.
not gonna lie,
Yeah,
I agree with you, Amma, because I'm looking at that lineup. It's match week 8, and I
yeah.
just brought a lineup for match week 32 when you have 7 games that week and you have to just
You
get away.
know,
He
it's
brought this
like
out when we're
what?
only in October. Like you
Okay,
have to
so
have
okay, so
better
so
attackers.
who is
It cannot just be. This is
who
just
are
the
the
eye
other
opener for you.
attackers?
Huh? That's what I'm saying. No,
Who
no.
are the other attackers?
This is not like I'm just saying this is you don't start the season with Saka. If Saka's off, we have Sterling as our next in line. That is an insane drop off.
Okay,
Is what
so
I'm
okay,
saying.
so if Salah is out, who's next in line?
We have a Kiesa, man. We'll take
Kiesa.
Kiesa there.
All right, good, good to know.
Mhm.
One
But that's what.
one thing I
But
like
you see
about this
that's
thing is the tables are going to turn.
well
I'm
that's
going
my
to hold
thing.
my
Look,
hand now.
my
I'm going
point
to
is
hold my hand now. But I'm just saying, everybody's best player is going to get
Oh,
touched at some point.
no. Look, but that's the thing. If your best player is getting touched in October, that's one thing. Then two, this is the lineup you have because your best player is getting touched. It's just I don't know, man. Maybe that's
Can I say,
just me.
last season when Salah got touched, didn't you delete your account? I didn't see you for like a month after AFCON.
Hey, we got a win at Emirates last season when Salah was out, man. We
But
did
I'm
a
saying that was a Carabao Cup. Though. What happened in the league?
Hey, a win is a win, man.
A win is
Get
a
them.
win. Anyway, all I'm about to say is next week we are big underdogs in our own home, and I don't like that. I will be the first to tell you that I don't like that. I've I've had this sense of pride going into every game, knowing that we're going to win. But if we're going to go play Liverpool without Salah, or sorry, without Saka, Odegaard, and Saliba, I don't know if the haram is going to work. That under 1.5 might scare you because I don't see how. Like, who's going to play that other CB with Gabriel?
I'm thinking of going under 0.5.
I don't know. The thing is, my
craziest bus is about to get parked.
yeah, maybe he has it in him to do that. But do you know why that works? Because there's a transition threat. But right now we have nobody that wants to hold the ball.
I think it's going to be two managers saying, "No, you do it."
Yeah, it's like I'm going to watch the game obviously, but I'd rather play these games with my best players. I'm not having three of my best players all out at the same time. Yeah, like we have to do what we have to do to get out there alive. And that game, I can guarantee all of you, that Chelsea Liverpool game was football. What slot is going to see at the Emirates? I don't have a word for it because we're going to do what we did to City last year. I feel that's what we should do. Just go there and don't have any intent on playing football. Just waste time and keep the ball out of possession.
I mean, there'll be a ball and there'll be feet, but I don't know. I don't know if you can put the two together.
Whatever happens in between, I don't know. But yeah, that's my assessment. Is a tough time to be fan. I was looking at Nuga's tweets. Guy's fighting for his life, man. It's
Look,
it's tough times in AFC right now.
Keeping one every minute, right? He's about to cook.
You can't bring him into this kind of stew.
look, I was gonna say this is it's related to the Arsenal game, but the reason why Liverpool had to play the way they played as well is because of the fixture that we have, like the run that we have. It's crazy. So we can't afford to make any game a big game. This was Chelsea's biggest game in their run. This is not even our biggest game this week. So we have to come into the we have to come into come
He's
into Emirates
on my
knowing
Super Bowl. That
hold
conference
on.
league game doesn't matter, man. Guys,
One
what's
second.
going on? Guys, what's going on? What is
We
stupid?
started the season playing City, and he said this is the biggest game. Like, oh my
No,
god!
you guys have a run as well coming up. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm comparing our runs. Like we have a bigger game to worry
Oh
about,
man,
and we're going away to one of the best teams in recent times, right? So one of the best managers as well in recent times, and he's someone that if he wants to win a game, he knows how to win. He has like seven like playmakers. You have Gabriel who can hit the ball. You have Saliba who can hit the ball. You have Saka who can cross the ball. And then you have Chaucer. You know, you have people that could just cross and people that can impede your keeper. That's playmaking in Arsenal. So these things have to be these are these are these are things you have to be wary of. So I think going to that game, honestly, I don't even care what happens. I
I don't
just
even
believe,
want us to get too much into the preview for
no,
the
okay,
Arsenal
all right.
Liverpool game
I
because we're
just I just
still
want to say like don't get embarrassed. That's my only thing. That's all
we're
I'm
gonna.
saying.
I think for me, I think we're letting Arsenal off too easy for me.
Oh,
Because I think when we came into the season, there was a clear cut two horse race in terms of the title, and everybody was meant to be levels below, right? And I think most Arsenal fans felt like they had the squad, not just the 11, because if we're talking just the 11, that was 2 years ago. They felt like over the last few one of the things I argued with this Femo AFC guy on Twitter was Arsenal have elevated their squad with the signings of Calafiori. They fixed the left hand side with the signings of Marino. I was hearing things like, "Oh, this left hand side is going to be like Messi, Alves, and Iniesta. Like this is the fluidity is about to be back." So for me, I think we're letting them off too easy. Like, granted, yeah, you're
Why?
missing your
Why? But you
captain.
saw it. You saw it against Southampton when we had 11 guys on the pitch and we
The
had the left.
Southampton game was sloppy. I came here after that
No,
win,
but
right?
Moreno
After the
came in there in
Southampton
the
and the
second half.
Leicester win. No, after the Southampton and the Leicester wins, right? I came here and I had the foresight and I said, I don't know. I feel like there's an identity crisis. I said that because I don't know what he wants the team to be. And the fact that against Bournemouth, a team that you're expected to beat, right? Let's not kid. You're expected to beat Bournemouth. They also were missing players, by the way, and they already don't have a better squad than you. So 11v11, you're expected to go into those kind of grounds and win games if you're going for the title. If you're not like us, right? You're not Spurs that's fighting for top 4, top 5. You're not Chelsea that's trying to figure out who they even are. You're not Liverpool. You're meant to be clear of us three. That's the way I see it. If you're meant to be clear of us three, those kinds of games, the expectations are different.
Yeah,
And even
that's
with
fine.
10 men,
That's fine.
honestly,
That's
even
fine.
with
But
10 men,
let's
I'm
let's
expecting Arsenal to be pinning Bournemouth back. They
but
shouldn't
that's
have the nerve
nonsense.
to.
That's
I think
nonsense.
that's where the manager comes in, right? Like you can't make those kind of defensive subs like you're playing Real Madrid. It's like he's still stuck in his head, like, oh, if we don't concede, we're gonna win the game.
But I mean, but
These are bad teams.
that
These
has
are bad
that
teams. Don't give
that
them the
has worked
incentive
for
to
him.
attack.
But see,
Yeah, but not
that has
not in
worked for him.
these kinds of fixtures. That's where I'm like, bro. At some point, you're gonna have to tell me who you are. If you're
He has told you who he is. You need
because
to
I firmly
you
don't
need to
believe you can win a
execute him
title that
well.
way. I
You have
don't
to
I don't
execute
believe you
him
can win a
well.
title that way.
That's fine. I believe we can win the title if we are refed like a normal team. If you can give me 11 men on the pitch and not the rubbish red cards, is why I cannot go at the manager or the players because it's 3 different occasions this season that stuff has happened. Like, can
I
we
thought the
play?
Saliba one was a red card. I don't see
I don't think
any.
it was. Tosin didn't get sent off. Saliba got sent off. Cool. I don't
Did
think
the
it
Tosin one happen before the Saliba one? Because
happened after.
that's what I'm saying.
The
That's what I'm saying.
Tosin
So
Like
one
at
was
the time, it was a
the
red
exact
card.
same, situation. So why did Tosin get a red card if he's consistent? And I've seen those fouls happen all the time. My own is if you want to flog us, but say some facts. Between the injuries, the refs, and now the suspensions, it's difficult.
I hear the injuries
Can't win
thing, but
anything
at the start of the season, I was like, what are the odds that Arsenal go again a full season without missing a major player for a significant amount of time? Because you can argue last season, all of your key cogs, they were healthy for the entirety of the season. Odegaard had a stretch where I think 2 or 3 games. Saka
Yeah,
might
it
have sat out
happens.
a
And
back to
again,
back.
I'm
That's
not
not
blaming
something.
injuries.
Hold on, no, that's not something you can consistently expect. City don't get it. Liverpool don't get it. This even in their heydays, right? You don't keep the entire unit fit for 38 games. So when you have that kind of season, you fail to capitalize. Then you come into the next season, you can't expect for those players to play another
Okay,
38 grueling games and
I'm not
not have any
expecting that.
injuries.
I'm not
So that's where
expecting
I'm
that.
like, the
What I'm
squad has to be
expecting,
ready to handle it, right?
what I'm expecting is proper refereeing. The lineup is one thing.
So is it the injuries or is it the refs?
No, I'm giving you a full picture as to why we've not been up to speed.
Okay.
At the bare minimum, the Brighton game, if Rice doesn't get sent off, that game is a dub. The City game, if Trossard doesn't get sent off, I think that game becomes a little bit more interesting in the second half. And the Brighton game has also like look at the games, look at the decisions and the impact that they are having. Because now we've dropped what 7 points from those 3 red cards, and now we're behind in what was supposed to be a 2-man race, and it's not going to be easy to catch up. Because I don't know if the Saliba thing is a 3-game suspension or one game. Because I saw that.
If it's a straight red, it should be 3 games. Right?
Yeah, so it's going to be out for.
Unless they're saying only violent conduct gets 3 games. I don't know. I don't know
Well,
what the rules are.
Yeah, the
I
rules
saw
are
like
just so
that.
different now,
Dude,
man. I don't
I
even
think
know
honestly
anymore.
that's a better conversation for me. Is I feel like they've made it to where the rules have gotten so muddied, and it's because of VAR.
The rules
Because
are so.
when you're going through every action with a fine-tooth comb, now you have to be able to explain the gray areas that we always. Football was full of gray areas. Oh, he tugged his shirt, but did he really impede him to the point that he fell? All these things refs should be able to decide on the fly, in the emotion and the spirit of the game. Now with VAR, it's like we have to define. Okay, what is a handball? Does it start here? Does it start at in your palm? Like what? How far extended does your arm have to be for it to be a handball? So it's like all of these things. We're going through a fine-tooth comb with all these rules, and for me, the spirit of the game is being lost. And so like I can empathize, but you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you have to play within the parameters that you have. And I felt like Saliba made an idiotic decision. I feel like in that instance, you're faster than the guy, you're stronger than the guy. I've seen you go toe-to-toe with Haaland. Let the guy run, catch him up, shoulder barge him off the ball, and you move on. It's really that simple. But it's like it just got lazy and decided, you know what, now I'm going to pull you back. And you give the refs a decision to make,
but
and you get screwed.
At the end of
Trossard with the pass. That was silly.
That's nonsense. Because City don't have to deal with that. Like it's
That's
just like
not
somebody
true,
telling
though.
you. It's just like someone telling you to walk on eggshells, No, the refs
They're not.
are supposed to do their job.
I
They're
remember
not
when I
saying,
came here after the NLD last season, right? And I said the penalty on Kulusevski, or that Jesus stuck his knee on Kulusevski. Was it Jesus or Sinclair? I don't know who it was. Stuck his knee on Kulusevski in the box. We don't get the penalty. It leads directly to a counter attack, and it's 2-0 and game over. Everyone told me to get over it. Everybody told me to get over it. So it's like when decisions go in your favor, we also saw at Anfield last year, Odegaard playing basketball in the box, no penalty given. So I'm saying like Arsenal fans have this like ideology that it only goes against them, but when it goes for them, it's crickets, absolute crickets. So
yeah,
it's like
They,
if you're referee differently, and it only ever goes against you, fine, you're
yeah,
free to
because
complain.
you
But
are
if I can
you are
name
the same
instances
person.
off the top of my head
But I'm
where it's
saying
gone in your favor and it's led to you getting 3 points, you don't get 3 points against Spurs, league's done.
But
League's done.
you are the same person that sat there and said at the time talking about VAR, now there's a witch hunt. And I'm seeing that witch hunt in real time. My own is I just want to be ref like every other team this season. And this season that has not been the case. There has been 3 separate occasions. This whole
Even
time
this season,
we have
even this season,
we're the only team with 2 red cards from quote unquote time wasting or delaying the restart. How do you get sent off for man is
I came here. I said the Declan Rice one. I didn't think it was a red card. I
I'm not
still
here
stand by
looking
that.
I'm not here looking for sympathy because I wouldn't get that from here. And to be honest, at the end of the day, this is just sports. My own is just if anybody wants to compete with City, it's like let's say hypothetically, right? Liverpool fans start to say, okay, they are in the title race. Every point you drop is going to be important. And at the very least, I've always said it, if a team beats us, like when Villa beat us last season, I'll be like, yeah, the team beat us. I don't want to be losing games and I feel like I've been cheated. That has just always been my own thing. I don't mind.
I just don't get how you get that from this Bournemouth game. If you say the Declan Rice red, fair. If you say the Trossard red, I say fair. Okay, maybe. I still think it should have got
saying
sent
this
off.
game we lost because we're bad.
No, I think Saliba should have got sent off. I just think it was a red. It's just that's like if I'm the ref, I'm giving him a red as well. Like I think it's denial of a goal scoring opportunity, point blank period. I think you let the guy run. You just let him go. I don't think Evan Nilsson would have scored. This guy's missed a penalty. He's not good.
that's
Like
my whole
and that's
thing.
why I'm just like, know your personnel. Bro, if Evan Nilsson is running through on goal, slow as nails, and I'm Saliba in my prime, 99 pace, 99 strength, brother, run. Matter of fact, I might wait a second so I can catch you up and make it look good for the cameras. I'm not pulling you back, getting a red card, and then running a witch hunt thing of, oh, the refs are against me because they didn't send off the guy against Chelsea. Mind you, that would have benefited Liverpool. So it's like, did you want Liverpool to even get more points? I don't know. The logic just didn't make sense to me. It's like, yeah, we know refs are inconsistent. At the end of the day, that rule got applied accurately because I saw Dragusin get sent off for that literally 2 weeks ago, and everybody ripped him. Oh, he's young, he's an idiot. This Dragusin guy that Spurs signed is rash. Oh, he's not going to start again. Blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop. I even joined to say he's an idiot. You know what I mean? I was mad at the guy who gave him the pass, but I still say he's an idiot because, bro, we're playing Ferencváros. Just let the guy run through. What are the odds he even scores? And that's where I'm like, situational understanding of the game matters. But if you look at that and you're like, oh, that was all on the ref, then fair play. I just feel like that's not constructive.
And
That's not a constructive way to approach the game, especially when you're trying to go for a title. Like your standards have to be a little bit higher than, oh, ref sent off one of our players. We're gonna mail in this game and no points.
I mean, we didn't mail it in now. We had.
I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like, but if you're saying
I was like, we still
refs and nothing,
played.
then
Like if you watch the second half, which I don't know if you did, we
I
were.
did.
Yeah,
Believe you me, I did. I was waiting for that guy. I needed it
Yeah, I know
badly.
exactly. So I'm saying we had one chance before that. Like it wasn't like Bomber would just attack after attack.
That's why I said, like, did you want to? You said after the refs, there's nothing to analyze.
I
still
think yeah,
think there's-
because the game is just like when Ramsdale did that thing against Southampton. Like you have a game plan, right? And you have alternatives to that game plan. And then something abnormal happens. And now the game turns like you get sent off at what 20 something minutes. That's almost 70 plus minutes you have to play with 10 men and now adjust. Like it just like watching it. I'm not even upset with disappointment. It's just annoying at this point. Like, yeah.
I've seen
of
seen a lot of top teams be in that situation and pull out a win or a draw. That's where I'm like, that's where I want to see Mikel like, okay, like instead of bringing on an extra defender, I'm saying instead of bringing on an extra defender, bring on an attacker
I
and
just
force these guys to show
I
you
just
that
want
they're
to
good.
finish a game with 10 men. Me, I'm tired of seeing. How many times we see? You guys have tested the guys so many times. I don't want to see again. Can we just have 10 men play a game
But
of
so is
football?
that not a discipline thing then? Like,
That's I mean, yeah, coin it whatever you want. Whoever can solve that problem. I just want 10 men. Like the Liverpool game.
you
I don't
mean
even care
11
about the
men
results.
because you've been getting 10.
I don't care about the result. That Liverpool game, I don't care about the result. If we finish the game with 11 men, that's a win in my eyes.
I
Because
don't
this
care
is
about the
Okay.
All right,
results
we're
in
going too far now.
October.
Look,
Wait, hold
look.
on.
So
this
Wait,
is
wait, wait,
good.
wait,
a
wait.
win in
No,
my
no, no. We're not
eyes.
letting that. I don't care about the
I
results in
don't.
October.
Don't worry.
I have bigger
Don't
problems right
worry.
now. How can couple players in our team they haven't seen 11 guys finish a game?
All right, look,
To be
look.
honest,
I was gonna say
you know,
this
you know, you
honestly.
know, help my godson go and slam our red card, man, against Liverpool. Because I'm very sure someone is going to do something silly. Go
Look,
and put 1K on it, bro. In my party, Partey is going to use his cleats to touch Gravenberch.
look. I was gonna say one advantage of having starting the game with four center backs is if you lose one, you have three, and you keep on playing how you're playing. You don't have to change nothing. And I just looked at, I just when I looked at the Bournemouth team, I just remember who their keeper was because we played against them and we enjoyed them. Kepa,
Disgusting
Kepa is
team,
their
bro.
keeper.
Bro,
Like,
disgusting team, bro.
bro,
All,
like
all they
this
had
is
to do was go three at the back, blam them, get corners, spam your corner
bro.
routine.
Look at the
One
keeper in the
goal,
team.
game's over. I
It's
I I I think the manager is getting off scot free for it's Bournemouth. It's not like you were playing prime Real Madrid.
on me. If you look at the back line, you do not know one of their
Bro, their
defenders.
midfield is like guys
You
with
don't
two
know.
first names: Ryan, Chris, John,
Man,
John,
Dog, a
John
man's
Joseph.
name
Like
is
just
Kickers.
random names.
Kickers. That's his name,
Alex
bro.
Scott, bro. Like people with two first names. It's strange stuff
It's
going on there,
honestly,
bro.
I'm gonna say this. The same thing happened to us last season where we were going through that run. We had cards, and you say, "Oh, fair, we're being cheated," but you also say, "Why don't we just stop doing these things?" I'm not gonna lie to you. Like that's like there's
no,
time
no,
when
but
like
you know what's funny? You know what's
but
funny? I'll believe that if I see something that warrants that. Like I'm not going to blindly defend my team. If there's something that the manager is doing that I don't like, I'll say it. I'll be like, yeah, like you. It's like when Harvest was in the midfield. Who's remembers? I'm like, just play the guy where he's playing well. This gimmick to force Jesus to come, like even when Jesus came, I would have rather we've gone to bring back Nketiah against Bournemouth. Like when Jesus came on, it was almost like, yeah, Peacock should just cancel my subscription right now. Because it's not going to happen. That's why I will blame the manager. Like, bro, the guys have let you down so many times. Don't play them. But in this case, I don't know, man. The refs, I don't get it. Like every week is something that just annoys me with refereeing. If you can just referee us normal, just let it be consistent. Because what I don't like, right, is if something is a red card, let it be a red card for the whole season, Like if something is a red card and it's obvious that it's a red card. Let's not do this one where every week is a debate.
But
And
but
you
but the Saliba one has been a red card since the beginning of time. That's why I'm like so confused. Last
from
man
that
foul
far
is
out.
always a red. It
Okay.
doesn't matter how it's the same as clear. Last season, we were looked at as a team with no discipline. I remember when they were like, does Ange have a discipline problem? We had two reds against Chelsea. We doubled back with another red against Luton. I remember Bissouma had a red. Then when he finished that suspension, he got another red. That he now got a 4-game suspension. He went to AFCON, came back. Like, bro, we were looked at. Bissouma got a red card for a dive. His second yellow was like he dove in just a random normal in the middle of the pitch. He dove, second yellow, red. You're off. Does Ange have a discipline problem? At some point, you just have to look inwards. Like, okay, are we playing these games too rash? Are we being too? Listen, the Declan Rice one, I think that was not a red. I'll be the first one to say that 0% chance that's a red. I mean, he doesn't even look like he wants to kick the ball. The ball's kicked against him almost. Not a red. Absolutely horrible decision. 2 drop points. They bounce back and they do well against Spurs. The Trossard red, I thought it was a red for the shoulder bars because I thought it was a second yellow deserved. But when they're saying that it was for the delaying of restart, I'm like, I can't really jive with that. He does kick the ball away. In his case, he actually kicked the ball away. But I don't like the rule to begin with. I think that's silly. Players should be
Yeah,
able to have emotion.
the rule
The rule is dumb.
what's the problem?
And the rule
Yeah,
hasn't
it's
been
not
enforced
the
fairly. But I
yeah.
thought the shoulder barge alone was enough for a second yellow. But the fact that he was given the second yellow for something else, I'm like, all right, whatever. Call it fair and square because I think City also got cheated in that game. and they end up getting a draw. Good point. You move on. The Saliba red, I think it's a pure red. I just don't think there's any way around it. Like you don't pull people back that are going through on goal. You wait and see how it plays out. But honestly, this season is starting to look kind of hellish for Arsenal. Like remove the red cards and the suspensions. The injuries are piling up. I think a little bit of and Chooks, you could probably speak to this better than me, but I don't know if it's like getting used to success, but it feels like the magic of like the support is not there anymore. It's almost like everybody's coming in with what's the word? It's not expectation, but like they're like entitlement. You know, it's like it feels like the fans are coming to the stadium now and they're not even trying to get too loud. It's just like, go ahead, get us the 3 points. You know what I mean? We'll give you a little clap here and there, but we expect success. And I feel like what made Arsenal so special during those runs, like even as a neutral, as a hater of Arsenal, the support was there. Like it's like the fans could feel every emotion because they weren't sure if they were really that team yet. But it's like this season, it feels a little bit more and maybe it's because of like the run from last year's like one loss in 20 odd games, one draw, insane run, didn't win it, cool. But fans have come in with a little bit, I don't know, the games don't have the same
I guess
pizzazz.
for the most part,
It's also their first loss in a while too, though.
It
so
is.
it's
It is.
very gloomy
like-
right now. You know,
in like 6 months.
But
But the thing is, this is why like the fan base is just funny because even in the Jaguars stars, no one is even saying anything because it's almost like last season probably killed guys up. Like there are some fans that I know that they just want
yeah,
you to me. They want you to let them know if there's a trophy in me. I don't think they care. Like this Bournemouth game, I'm so shocked. Like when I went to my phone, it was only like 50 messages. Normally, it's like 400 messages of guys crying. But it's like I'm also at that point. It's like I don't really care for all this, man. I just want to win something. Like you know, when I see stuff like best.
Reffy is such a bastard.
Damn,
I
yo,
know
that's just crazy, bro. Damn, I'm sorry, bro.
He shook his hand like that. That hit him in the heart.
I want to see something.
Alright, that's tough, man. Damn.
I want to see something. That's all.
it's been a while, man. It's been a while.
Like
So Chooks,
you're
at
right,
this point, are you taking FA Cup?
brother. George celebrated that FA Cup more than his own birthday. I'll take Carabao.
Every
This way.
drag for no reason.
Brother, I'm taking it. I'm taking anything that I
man.
can get. I'm taking anything because
I was
you're right.
there.
Like it even shows in like with the way you're right with the fans. So it's like I don't think anyone cares about the results. They just want something.
do you think a little bit of that is also style of play, like where like you were more exciting to watch before, and now it's so methodical that it's like the process is not enjoyable, but you know it would deliver you the results, so you're just like,
all I'll have
okay.
to say to that is Chooks is getting close to the real problem with that line of thinking. He's almost there. He's almost there.
No, my thing
Rafi
is
knows
it's
what
not
I'm
only
talking
it's
about,
not only
too.
touching the
But
fans.
he's almost there.
It's not only touching the fans though. It's touching. It legit is touching the coach as well. Because like you said, it's like okay, if I remember that I got burned by doing this thing, I'm just like you said, Uzo, like I'm never going to concede again. I don't want to know what that feels like. And it's like you're not forcing these lineups that don't make sense. There's no,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I'm looking at this, I'm like, who exactly here is supposed to score a goal for you? You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's
I mean,
like,
he started
it doesn't-
he stared three pretty much holding mids. Partey, Rice, and Marino. 6'5",
like, yeah,
can't turn.
I do not ever want to see that mixture again.
The real reason is
And then you
this
think
is-
like that's bad enough. There are 4 CBs behind him.
the real
4
reason
CBs
to
and 3
answer the-
DMs
the real-
against Bournemouth.
The real reason to answer that is
And when
to answer your
one of the
question.
CBs, sorry, Emma, when one of the CBs gets sent off, you're like, I need another CB on it. So he takes a winger off and adds yet another CB. Like, bro,
God,
you already have a defensive lineup. You get a red card, and you're like, nah. We need to shore it up more. Like, bro,
it's crazy because like you cannot afford one person to just have a free role. Like legit, if you have 7 CBs on, bring on one. Like tell him you don't have to defend again. You have enough people at the back. But anyway, go ahead, Amar. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think with that is because Arteta gradually, he's been going away from what got them there, if that makes sense. But I mean, naturally though, when you're an up and coming team, there's a certain style of play you'll have, and then once you reach that echelon of competing for titles regularly, you do have to adapt because your seasons, it's weighted a little bit more. So I think in that adaptation from going from what they were when they were up and coming to where they got themselves to like being like competing for titles regularly, I think that's what the fan base is seeing and experiencing right now. It's the transformation. It's not pretty. It's and there's phases to that too because you have to lose enough times before you figure out how to win. So like yeah, and it's just the only problem is like Chuck said, in this process, not even being able to collect like other trophies like the FA Cup and Carabao, it makes it harder to stomach. So it's like if all the eggs are in one basket and it's the Premier League and we can't even get that right, and it's like
I was telling Chooks, I feel like he reinvented too early. Like you saying like he's going away from what got them there is like I saw Liverpool reinvent themselves, but they're reinventing themselves after they won and players got over the hill. And it's like, okay, like we may say, yeah, Klopp took too long to reinvent. Cool. Say what you will, but he got every last bit of juice out of that first approach, that plan A. I feel like Arteta is on to like plan J at this point. And it's like plan A wasn't a bad plan just because you didn't win because Saliba got hurt or your team wasn't really used to a title race, blah, blah, blah. You come the next season and it looks completely different. And now you're in
he's
season
really
contending.
he's really Spanish David Moyes, man. Like for real, like he's Spanish David Moyes for real. Like look
I'm
at the
waiting
way
to
his
see what
team is set
evolution
up.
we're gonna get next because it's not looking like they're gonna win this season. I never had Arsenal winning the league anyway, but with these injuries and with the way that the fixtures have shaped up, I think it's gonna be a very tall task for them to win the league this season. So if he doesn't win the league this season, next season, what is he gonna do?
It's
Are
gonna
you
get
playing
real. It's
six,
gonna
eight
get real
CBs?
toxic.
Like what is gonna be maybe three goalies
Oh
to
my
so they can
god.
progress the ball? I don't know. We're
Oh,
gonna
Three
see.
goalies to
We're
progress
gonna
the ball
see
is nasty.
because I feel like he's just it feels like he's reinventing the wheel just a bit too much for me and that's why I'm like I think Arsenal are being let off too easy because this is 3 years
yeah.
of contending. You've been in the market. You should have shored up your squad should be good enough to handle adversity. Your squad should be good enough to handle suspensions and injuries because you know it's going to happen. And if you didn't know it's going to happen, then that's bad planning. Somebody should be responsible. Either the sporting director, the ownership, somebody. You're in year 3 of this. You know what it takes. You should be prepared for every and any situation. City's missing 2 players, but we know they have an excellent squad and they'll never experience any drop off.
No, but no, they will though. Like we saw the City game this weekend. It was also terrible, but they found a way. Is my thing, and I'm not gonna be harsh on you, Chooks, because I know this could get clipped up next week. I'm just gonna say Saka obviously changes that game. All the guy changes that game, but it's like find
I
a
think
way.
Saka is obviously their best player now. I think we
Yeah,
can put that to bed
yeah.
Now,
because no, I mean like because you could have argued like I've been wanting to argue Saliba, Odegaard, whatever.
yeah.
They
Oh well, yeah.
survived Odegaard. They even survived Declan Rice in the
Telling
NLD
you,
of all
it's
places.
always been soccer, man. When soccer
They
took that
they
next step, that's
cannot
what
survive
got
Saka
them to
being
this
out.
echelon.
They can't survive Saka. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because they're
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
It's simply because
Because
you're
even the
not
set
backing
pieces,
with
right?
Sterling.
Who's delivering those set pieces? It's
Mm-hmm.
Saka. So
Remember,
it's like
remember, remember when I told you?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I
I
said.
told you
I
about that.
argued. I argued. I said it was
I
Saliba. I
told you
said it
about
was
that.
Odegaard.
That's why
Nah, it's
right
soccer,
now,
bro. It's always been
anyone that
soccer,
tells
man.
me, anybody, if you want to greet me, just tell me money. Don't add good. There's nothing good as long as
Nothing
the
good.
star boy is
Nothing good.
out. Man, guy, in our village right now is tough. I saw Declan Rice, those corners. I wept.
Rah,
I
rah,
wept.
rah.
The same
The funny
deliveries
thing
that
is, Declan Rice was taking
Saka was
corners at
making
the
with
at the
the team.
beginning of the season, or and even last season too, and he was a lot better at it before. But for some reason now,
No,
right?
from
He's
especially
just
from that other side, from the
yeah, he's just
right
so
side,
bad.
Saka has
Yeah,
mastered how to get it to the
No,
edge.
Saka's deliveries are world class. Absolutely world
Man,
class.
yeah,
Because he's
yeah.
yeah.
playing.
No,
Because
he
and also it's timing. It's like with football, right? Like when a quarterback gets that chemistry with a receiver, it's not even about accuracy anymore. It's just like if you know where he's gonna be, you can just put it there and he's gonna run onto it. Saka and Gabriel have mastered that run. Once he starts doing that run, it's like Saka knows exactly when to hit it so that the
hmm
ball can be right where he's headed.
right exactly in his
And there's
path.
no defending that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is one of those things like we always say. One of the funniest SB sayings is the way you grow in absence, bro. Like There's nothing better than missing games. Saka's stock is rising. Like he's already had an excellent start to the season, but when you see like the first game he misses, because he's been involved in all of their goals, obviously, the first game he misses and they don't score. And it's like, yeah,
and they lose too. It's not
let's
like they
go.
don't score
Yeah,
and
they
they
don't
left with
score and they
0-0,
lose.
but no, they
And
did
you
score
saw
and they
Ben
lost.
White. Ben White on Semenyo with no Saka help. Sterling was trying
Yeah,
his best.
tragic.
But you know, Sterling's not built for that. He's not built for the defensive work.
I mean, Ben White
I
said
think
it.
Saka is way too important in this team, bro. Way too important. So you got to get
Yeah,
that boy
nah.
healthy.
Soccer is definitely
Just
the
hope
Yeah, he
you
number
guys
didn't.
give
one.
him
He
enough
didn't.
rest, man. He
He
needs he
didn't
needs
train
the rest.
today.
Give him 2 weeks off if possible. Let him come
I
back.
think he'll play though. He'll be there for the game. He obviously didn't
Brother,
play this Bournemouth
if they
game.
have to wheel
But
Saka in there on on a tourney, he's getting into that pitch.
As long as he can cross the ball.
Bro, they're just gonna tell him to
so
stand over there. Like
Yo,
just
you
wait
know
for
how
the
they do
yeah,
like
corners.
you know how they
just
do
stay in the
special
corners,
teams.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
They're gonna
no
use like
dudes,
special
nothing. Just
teams.
bypass special
He's gonna be the
Guy
kicker.
just comes on to take corners. That's it. That's all.
Man, I
Take
don't.
corners
I
and
don't
defend the
recognize my
transition.
team anymore. Man, I'm telling you, bro. I don't know what's gonna become of this fan base at the end of this season because even faithful guys like Femo are not arguing again. Like while we are losing all the Titans, what happens, man?
I mean,
It'll be
that's
a dark day.
life without Saka, bro.
It's emotional fatigue, man.
Bro, there was a time where Jesus was like the best player in the league. I think it's so crazy because like Ama, you said, you're going away from what made you want to tune in and talk all this talk. Like you're not excited no more, and now you're almost like, please just get this win. Let me just go. Like you're not having fun watching it no more.
Please just get this win this
Yeah,
early in the
it
season.
was
Just
fun,
feels
but
it
for
feels
some
criminal,
reason,
bro. It's
for some
like
reason,
it feels
Arteta
criminal.
just been gradually going away from that idea, like slowly and slowly. Like
And
slowly,
and you know what it
bit
is?
by bit.
Chooks, you know what it is though? It's from disappointment. It's like he takes disappointment so personally. A player disappoints him. It's like, nah, like Jesus going
Yeah,
on that scoring drought. I feel like he just decided to
But I
build the
mean,
team
but I mean, you
completely
guys,
around
you
somebody
guys,
else.
you guys do this thing where you only saying all this because you want to flog the manager.
No. I don't think it. I don't.
And I get that, but also Odegaard being out is such a big thing to the way we play. And what did he do? He did what you guys say he couldn't do. He adapted. He found a different way for us to grind our results because we don't have Odegaard. Now Saka is out. What else you want him to do? Resurrect Ozil from the dead?
No. Missing
Like,
Saka is a big deal. But I'm saying when you have a Jesus, right, who can play on the wings. I
but like
again the game
watched him.
turned
You
again.
watched him play. He's after that last
I
injury.
mean, to be fair though, this
No,
Martinez,
the game turned on the red
he
card,
played
but I
on
still
the
think the lineup was bad.
No, my dad just came back from an injury. He couldn't
yeah.
start the game.
Yeah, no, but I'm
One
saying
thing is,
even
you guys talk
Martinelli had a
about
chance to
going.
score though. Like at the end of the
I
day,
mean, yeah,
Martinelli
like
still had
you
a
know,
chance to score. So
if he talks that fine, but you already know who the guy is. And all this talking about he went away from all work. We broke our goal record last season.
But it looked different though, Chooks. It
It
looked
did because
different.
he had to
It's,
adapt to
we have
play
to
someone that was not Jesus. Like Jesus at 9 was the plan. And what happened? We found somebody that was gonna give us more output than Jesus. And you have to adapt your play style to him. That's what the guy. All he's trying to do is he's trying to get the best out of every player that is out there.
I just think you can get too obsessive with tweaking the system
I mean, yeah,
to
maybe,
where like you
but it's
almost
like,
overdo it. I just like we used to flog Pep for this for the longest before he won the Champions League. Overthinking. Oh, we
I
feel like
get that.
Pep
And
overthought this one. He overthought this one.
maybe that's a Spanish thing because Klopp
could be.
will literally do the same thing the whole
Bro,
year.
if Klopp could just play the same
Oh,
11
what?
all season with the
Please.
same game
With the
plan,
kids
no
playing
problem.
Carabao.
And
No
maybe
problem.
maybe yeah, that's something to his fault. Man is just I've seen guys disappoint me in this team, right? And it's like when they come on, I almost want to turn off the TV. Like whenever Jesus comes on, I want to turn off the TV because I know not as if he's bad, but it's like he's not going to do anything. The first thing he did in that Bournemouth game was what? In the box, he went down looking for a penalty. Like that's just all he
That's
does.
his bag, though. That was
You
his
know, yeah,
bag.
like
That's what he
that's
has
so
love
bad.
of
Mind you,
for.
he hasn't won us a
That
penalty since he got here. Since that Liverpool won like 2 years ago, that the Thiago penalty. He hasn't won us a penalty since then, but he does it every single time.
He's still trying it.
Busy trying it, so it's like
Just $1 of Bitcoin. Just $1.
He's stuck in it. So it's like the manager,
You
I
missed
don't
all the
know. And you
things.
know, like
Don't dive, brother.
you can't be like where you say, oh, you're gonna go out there and buy every player's replacement. You just have to hold it, which is what I'm doing. You just have to just watch and endure because the Bomber game, I didn't enjoy even when it was like 11 men. And then it was not 10 men. And it's like, yeah, this just went from not being enjoyable to I'm just watching because I have an obligation to watch the game. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. If Saka is not in that lineup on Sunday,
It's gonna be a hard watch.
like I'm still
It's
gonna
gonna
have
be a
to
no
watch
watch.
because like even you guys as I mean, obviously, apart from Liverpool fans, like, are you gonna be happy to spend 90 minutes watching that game?
I will.
Knowing what is
More than you
Hey,
can
man,
believe.
look,
that's
More
I'm
than you
gonna say
can
this.
believe.
that's what I'm saying. Like, is one of those games that if a manager does what I think he's going to do, it's just gonna be so disgusting to watch. Like it's like the
Look,
City game last season. Like it's just 90 minutes that you won't be able to get back. Hopefully the result goes for whoever's way, but it's like, you know, I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
I think honestly, just to round up, we have done a full deep dive. I think this early in the season and with these many contender adjacent teams, because there's just a lot more parity and a lot more competition. I feel like we're gonna answer a lot of these questions come then, and that's what I said about it. Like, if everything he's doing makes sense, we'll see. Come January, February, we'll see. It'll be obvious. It'll be on the points tally. It'll be on everything. Because
Yeah,
obviously Saka's not going to be out forever.
man.
Yeah,
Odegaard's not going to be
yeah.
out forever. So
They need to inject him. He can't miss. Man, and you know what's funny? Whenever people used to talk about Ateta resting Saka, brother,
I know. I was just about to bring that up. The irony that one of the biggest things on this manager was you don't rest this guy enough,
I see
and
why
now
he
you
doesn't
see
rest him.
what the team looks like.
I see why he doesn't which is why me personally speaking, the whole whenever you guys critique Ateta, it used to affect me before, but now I don't care. Whatever happens, I almost feel like the day the guy leaves the team, he should just take Saka with him. Because that's wherever they go is where I'm going. Because I will never have anything bad to say about the guy. I will never have anything bad to say about the guy. The guy has squeezed so much lemon.
But to be fair, like I think we all accepted he's an elite manager, but it's like sometimes I feel like what Arsenal fans feel is like when we critique him, we're still critiquing him as if he's a pumpkin or he's a wannabe. We've accepted he's an elite manager. We're critiquing him as we would critique any other elite manager.
Hey,
Klopp,
man,
Pep,
if
they all
Teta
got flogged the same way, man.
if Teta goes to City and those guys don't get charged, brother, me and Shiloh are
On that note,
brother. I'm gonna tell
on
you
that note,
now.
we're ending the
Perfect
episode.
way.
I'm gonna
Sacrilege.
tell you now.
Sacrilege. We're ending the
Perfect way.
episode.
Hey,
We're gonna go ahead and say we're gonna save
Light
Chooks from
blue.
himself. We're gonna save
Man.
Chooks from himself. Whatever you thought you just heard.
Hey man, you guys,
What's
I
the
don't-
Men
I
in
don't
Black
do
thing?
predictions.
What's the
Predictions.
Men in
censor
Black?
post. Censor post.
Also, you're not doing predictions for the next spicy top 6 game.
I mean, I guess we can go all at once and round up that.
For the Arsenal Liverpool?
0-0, lots of injuries, bro. You know,
Arsenal Liverpool?
those settings, bro. Yeah, those settings, bro. At the Emirates, 0-0, lots of injuries, lots of extra time as well.
I
Lots
say
of
2-2.
slapping of a bald head as well.
I say 2-2.
2-2.
If there's 4 goals in that game, I personally will come
Yeah.
deliver you any
I don't think it's
meal
gonna
of
be
your
as bad as
choosing.
you guys think, though. That's
Okay.
what's so funny. I really don't think it's gonna be as bad as you guys think.
Yeah,
But
you
I
haven't
get
met these
why,
two
though.
men. You haven't
I
met
get
these two
why. I
men.
totally get why. But I think
Arteta is in his most insecure mode right now. if there's a single attacker on the pitch, I'll be happy.
and you have to also factor in big game Havertz, man. You know, as long as Sterling don't see that pitch.
Oh brother. Oh brother.
All right. I'm gonna say this. I just checked the time when that game is happening. Sunday at prime time. I have to back my guy, man. Salah is leaving with something.
Mm,
It might be it might be A, it might be a G. It's still GA, but he's leaving with something, and I
crime.
think I think Liverpool are gonna win it. He
Games and
has
appearances.
the the worst version of Salah and the best version of Salah is
Definitely
Salah that
gonna
has
win.
something to like he has a stat to chase. stat chasing Salah is the nastiest person, and I just saw that like someone told me he has to score one more goal to go up 8 in all-time Premier League goal scorers. So it's just gonna be a very very sick thing that you notice. Like he's just gonna be
Yeah, you
trying
know what
trying
time he's on for sure.
anything that goes in the net. He's gonna do those his finesse shots. Something's gonna go in one way or the other. But I know what I'm gonna see next from Salah. So I'm gonna say 2-1 Liverpool. I'm giving that 2-1 Liverpool. If Saka's back, then 2-2. Good game. Thank you.
2-2. Yeah, 2-2 because
Jukes.
I
Hey
think
man,
Saka will get
I have to
one corner.
I have to die with my team. This is the Titanic. But we are going to inject Saka with something unbecoming,
Compound V.
and just go out there and grind out
The frog venom.
the 1-0 results to calm down the fan base.
Compound
That's
V.
my own prediction.
I hope I
Score
see those
one
fist
early
bumps
goal
next
and
week,
go and pack
man.
it
I've
up.
been
What?
waiting to see those fist bumps
Wait,
again.
wait, wait. Hold on. Salah Calafiori. Watch that space, man. Big color. He's been getting twisted, man.
Who's
I
gonna be
don't know.
CB? Chooks, do you have any scoop? Who's CB next week?
It might be me, bro. What is looking scary? It might be me out there. Gonna tag me out.
It's
Match
going to be
match
Gabriel and then
match ball
Martinelli.
jersey. Me and
Oh
Gabby.
man,
All right, man. We'll see you next
nah,
week for sure.
keep it on, man. Keep it on high. We'll be
All
there
right,
next week.
boys. We are signing
That
off on
one
that
there.
note. Kivio and Chukuma hours. You already know. You already know.
Remember, kids. You can't spell Liverpool without VAR.
Crying. Oh wait. We got to sign off with Rafi saying something bad about his rival. Yeah,
Oh,
sign
about
us
his
off
Something
with
bad
rival.
on my
that.
rivals, man. Just look at them. That's all you have to see.
The same rival that you
Yeah,
spoke
that's what
about
I'm saying.
earlier.
Look at them, man. They got the false hope
Hey, they
this
said they're only
weekend.
3 points behind Chelsea, bro. That's the
Yeah.
new one that I
The
heard
thing
this week.
about the thing about the thing
Oh, they're
is
mentioning us now.
it's always behind. It's always behind, guys. That thing they do, they never say, "Oh, we're just 1 point ahead of y'all." It's always there's something behind. So my thing about them is it's gonna be false hope after false hope. They got their first win in a while that they look good because Bruno did his flick, his customary. Oh wow, how did he think of that? He has done it, and he has had script for his like for the season. So I think they're playing Southampton next. I'm not sure, but that's it, man. It's gonna stink after this. And I think they're not gonna finish in the top 6 though. And I hate George as well.
I hate George is real, man.
Yeah, very, very
I've
real.
read the realest
Yeah,
CB.
we're
That's
signing
another
off on
thing.
that note. Actually, we've
That's
signed
another
off
thing kids
16
gotta
times,
remember.
but we're signing off
Yeah,
on the George hate. Remember, it's always fuck George.
always, always.
All right, easy, y'all.